All right, everybody, mobility video. So we're heading into a clean bench press cycle. And this is just a mobility video. If you're great at mobility, don't even worry about watching this. But what we're really looking for is some wrist mobility, some front rack mobility, which is through here, right? And then just some strengthening exercises or things to maybe focus on for some people with some specific stuff. So number one is front rack mobility, okay? Comes from two ways, and you can think about front rack mobility. I just think about it as ability to get into a front rack position. So number one is wrists, is that people have an issue with doing that, right? Simple things that you can do with people's wrists is just have them extend out. You can have them round them, you can have them pull them back hard, you can have them smush them back this way, you could have them on the ground, which I know everybody's seen us do in class, where you're rocking forward. Anything like that to get those wrists going. I have a band up here, I even like to have people pull out, right, where they're grabbing onto this and roll their wrists both ways, or they can have a locked out arm and they can roll their wrists this way or this way. Anybody who sits this way typing a lot, right, we need to make sure we're moving the wrist both ways, back and forth, okay? Number two is lats. So lats are a big deal. Best way for me anyways to lengthen, or to get in that front rack position is actually to lengthen or strengthen my lats when I'm doing this. So you could have a red band, a green band, a blue band. Doesn't make any difference to me except for it depends on your strength, right? And what we're looking for you to do, always have them put their hand in the band like this and then wrap around so they have some really good stability with that band. But you can have them standing straight up, pulling this way. You could start them with their palm down and have them rotate this way. You could have them swing their arm back, pulling this way. Anything like that is strengthening and lengthening that lat, which helps me get in the front rack. You could also have them test out some front rack mobility. I like to do this with a green band, but I'm gonna pull myself forward and really let that thing stretch. This is slightly uncomfortable for me, but at the end of the day, it will feel pretty good when I get into that. The last thing I like to do is get them with their palm facing back down towards the shoulder, and just have them actually rotate through here. So this is a little wrist and a little lat, and if you want to, you can actually have them pull out here. This is one of the drills that actually I got through when I did my Olympic weightlifting seminar that really helped me. It's kind of awkward, but it actually really helps lengthen that wrist, and really help get in that front rack position while you're doing that thing. The other thing I wanted to cover is just the value of using this band and this PVC pipe for a lot of different things. So I'm gonna start off with this red band, but three primary things that you're gonna see programmed in the warm-up is band and pull aparts, which are here, right? Mostly straight arm, pulling kind of down towards the sternum or back towards the armpits, however you wanna see that. A lot of people, like even me, I should be doing this with a single band, especially warming up. Number two is a pass-through, which would be here, and my goal is to keep tension in this band the entire pass-through, okay? Number three would be a press apart, which is here, right? So I'm starting 90-90, hands are a little bit right in line with my armpits, a little bit inside of my elbows, and I'm pressing apart. These are tricep press aparts, one of the best warm-ups you can do for bench press, and really have people focus on actually locking that elbow out. Some people will try to stop here. Nope. We gotta lock that thing all the way out, and ideally, you're locking out with acceleration. So I'm pushing hard, right? Just like I would finish a bench press rep, right at the end, you gotta push hard and lock out. The last thing, which is kind of new, which is really good for people with rough shoulders, which I know we have some people coming into, is have them do some banded upright rows. So I find tension in this band. It starts down here below my hips. Now I pull it high underneath my chin and I drive it back down. I never lose tension with this thing. If you find people that like this, they might also like turning this into a press and then reversing course. So it's mimicking what I do with a barbell. I pull it high, right? With a press, I also lock it out, right? But make sure we're reversing course. So I'm not pulling high, locking out, and then swinging out below me, pulling high. Now I'm rotating those elbows underneath and pressing up, pulling back down, reversing course, pushing back down. You also really like to do that with a dumbbell. If they can pull it high, push underneath that dumbbell, and then drive up, it's really good for setting that shoulder in, strengthening back here, letting up some of the shoulder binding that we get in the front. Lastly is the PVC pipe. These are I usually use PVCs more for the snatch overhead squat than I do a clean, but it's all very similar stuff as you do with the band, right? So you could do some pass-throughs, you could do some around the worlds, which look like this guy here. Make sure you're going both ways. This is just really good for opening up the chest, getting those lats moving. If you're cleaning, you could have them pull, push, push up, whatever you want to do that way. Shepherd staff, so you could have this thing out here, pushing that chest through, standing up, pushing that chest through, standing up. Do that both ways, right? We could have it in front of us, pushing that head through. This is really good for the lats as well, in that chest, opening up, coming back down. Sorry, opening up on my way down and coming back up, anything like that. But people underutilize the PVC pipe and the band in their warm-ups. If you ever see me warm up, especially for Olympic weightlifting, I always have a band up here, and I'm always using this for probably 5 or 6 minutes while I get warmed up, because I'm trying to get everything primed. And this is really important for class time too, because if you can get 4 or 5 minutes of good solid mobility out of somebody, then once they get into their working sets, it should be bam, 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 bam. They shouldn't be doing a set or two, walking up to you as a coach and being like, hey, my hips are tight, my shoulders are tight, my lats are tight, my wrists are tight. If you can take care of that early on as a coach, you can run a lot more efficient class. So that's just some quick things on mobility. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff, but reach out if you have any mobility questions. If you're uncomfortable coaching mobility stuff, Moen, Joe, is a really good resource for everything and anything mobility. But if you just need some stuff to kind of throw into class, go ahead, reach out to somebody that coaches you, that is good at mobility stuff, and just ask them some simple stuff. And like the biggest thing for me is, especially with mobility, don't be scared to do the same stuff over and over and over and over. People might get sick of it, people might dial out of it, and they might like sarcastically say, man, we've been doing this for 6 weeks or something like that. But the other thing with mobility is just like squatting or bench pressing or snatching or cleaning. The more you do something, the better you're going to be at doing it, and the more your body is going to routinely get into those positions. So if you can force people, right, if you know you're going to be coaching the bench press cycle every single week, find some chest opening exercise and find some tricep exercises that really, really work for you and help you dial in, and then just keep telling people when they're doing that mobility movement, I know we've been doing this for 3 weeks now, but you should feel a lot more comfortable doing this or a lot more comfortable doing this, okay? So keep that all that stuff in mind. Like I said, reach out if you have any questions.